Hi everybody, welcome back to My Hips Don't Lie with Debora Utley. I am coming to you on what is officially my last day of this particular journey of my hip repair surgery. And tomorrow I go back to school and get to actually teach from school and not the yellow room. I am sick to death of the color yellow, and I am really, really excited for this next right start. I have received my first vaccination. My second is in a couple of weeks. And I've gone out to dinner a couple times. I just got back from an amazing brunch with some of my besties that I haven't seen since before COVID, so for over a year. And it's just an exciting, I feel like, new start. So that being said, I am going to continue this kind of video diary, if you will, of telling the story of my youth and what I've overcome. I still have so much to tell you, but I'm just going to do it from an upright position now instead of on my back from my machine. The machine was picked up on Thursday, so I did my 8 weeks. I was religious. I barely missed a minute of that 4 hours a day, and I was very glad to see that go and have that machine picked up. I'm healing very, very well. I feel really great. This surgery was life-changing, and I hate to say that I'm grateful for something as devastating to our society as COVID has, but it was this new reality that allowed me to get this done and to heal something that very desperately needed to be fixed. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the time. I'm super grateful to my school. I'm super grateful for them allowing me to teach from home so that I could really fully heal. My gratitude for my administration is through the roof. And while we're talking about gratitude, I'm super grateful for you. Thanks for coming along on this little journey with me, and for your emails and your messages. It's been really super awesome to do this with y'all. I am, like I said, going to continue this, but I am going to rebrand the YouTube channel. So since we're really done with the hip repair portion, I'll be honest, I still have, I'm not completely done with my hip rehab. I've got 2 more full months of twice weekly physical therapy that I will need to be going to. My next appointment is on the 29th of April with my surgeon, and hopefully I get the green light at that point to get back to physical activity. Fitness is a big part of my life, and I am unable to really participate in my normal fitness routine until I get that green light in 2 months. So fingers crossed. So I will still keep you updated, but we're going to rebrand back to Modern Class and Chaos. So I am going to rename the page, but you'll find it at the same place, and I'll keep posting on Facebook where to find the newest posts. But I do hope to maintain this with y'all and continue the story with you. So today we're going to, I'm going to pick up where we really left off the last time with my mom. And that was, she was accepted into the hospital, and they got her hydrated. They got her to a place of lucidity. I think that's a word. And we met with the social worker, and the social worker saved my mom's and my life in one fell swoop, got her set up at her first care facility in Iowa. And that first facility was really wonderful. And she was there for a few years until her dementia and mental illness progressed to the point where they could no longer care for her. And so in 2012, we did move her, and she has been at her current care facility ever since 2012. But as I told you, when we went back to see her the next morning, she told me that I needed to go back to her house because she had a duffel bag filled with cash. And she thought it was about $1,500. And so I was like, well, all right, I guess we gotta go do that. So I got her purse. I found her what she told me were the house keys. You can see where this is going. And Vicki and I hopped in the car and off we went. So I hadn't been back to my childhood home in several years, but I had been there since I was taken out of there at age 11, so in 1984. I had been back as an adult with my aunt. My aunt had gone there probably to pick up my mom for lunch, or to, she was probably in town, and we would, often, if we were in town, we would see my mom, we would see my grandparents on my Uncle Doug's side, and so my aunt noticed that the kitchen floor, the linoleum had basically worn through, and you could see, there was just holes in the floor. And I believe my mom mentioned that the oven no longer worked. Why the oven no longer worked? Because I think in a fit of anger, my mom's husband kicked in the door. So my aunt and it was my aunt's idea. She said, we need to get your mom a new oven and let's fix the floor. Absolutely. So we decided to do that. So we went back to the Quad Cities on when the oven was going to be delivered, the floor was going to be done. We wanted to be there to make sure things were done right. They had to turn the gas off. It was a whole thing, right? So we decided to help my mom clean. My mom did not inherit my aunt and our fastidiousness for housekeeping. My aunt and I are both very particular housekeepers, and my mom did not get that gene, and that stuff didn't bother her. Clutter things. She had, over the years, she was basically a hoarder, and she had things in that house that were from the 70s, things in my room, as my childhood room, that had never been gone through or disposed of. So my aunt and I were always kind of under the impression that, maybe it was just too overwhelming. She needed help. You learn the hard way that that's never the case. It's not that it's overwhelming. It's that people have a connection to their things, and it is it's their security. And so my aunt and I spent a day, and we went through that house like the Tasmanian devil. We cleaned, we sorted, we bagged everything up. Mom, you haven't worn this skirt since 1967. It's going. You don't need this. You don't want this. This is just taking up space. Don't you want to be able to walk through here? Don't you want that freedom? No, she didn't. She wanted her things. They were her security. But you don't realize that because you think everybody thinks like you. And we ended up that day. Now, my childhood room was rough. There was mold on the walls. In the main living room, there was like a hole in the ceiling that just had like cardboard over. I mean, it was only a shoebox of a home to start with. It was a main room, a very tiny kitchen, 2 bedrooms and a bath. I mean, it was a shoebox. And then he had built on like a back porch, and then the front lawn, same thing. There wasn't you couldn't mow because there was nothing. There was no room for a lawnmower because every lawn ornament that has ever existed, this is where they came to die. I mean, we are talking Virgin Marys in the bathtub, plastic deer, you name it, it was in that yard. It was astounding. So my aunt and I, over the course of the day, I think we had about 17 big garbage bags of what we considered to be trash. Now, this house was way up on, a hill. So all of these houses on this row of this particular street in Davenport, Iowa, from the street, you had to walk up, I am telling you, 30 stairs because they were all on top of this hill. So her and I, we dragged these garbage bags up and down to the curb. It was a lot of work, but man, we were proud of ourselves. We thought we really helped her. They installed all this, whatever. So we went back we were staying at Grandma Fitz's, and we went back and, slept, got up the next morning. We were going to go back over because I think that's when they were either going to deliver the oven or whatever. We had to go back. So I go out in the car, Peg and I, we get in the car, and Grandma comes running out and she's like, hey, it's the phone. And it was my mom. So I wait in the car, my aunt goes, and I see her kind of getting agitated. And so I'm like, hey, what's going on? So it was my mom on the other end basically saying, don't come over here, I'm not letting you in. So I'm like, oh God, she's mad. She's mad that we threw that stuff away. Or my brain started to go to other places. Maybe Phil came home and beat her up and she doesn't want us to see. Like, we didn't know. And I said, no, get in the car. We're going. We are going over there. So we drive over, we get there, we go up the stairs, knock on the door, nothing. It was like we would have made a good episode of like Cops. All of my education, all of my gentility, all of my ladylike mannerisms were out the window. I was banging on windows. Let us in. What are you doing? Let me in. We are coming. I am telling you, she did not let us in. We couldn't see her. I don't know if she was there. We did everything short of break into that house. And then we finally gave up and we turned around and left. It was probably a while before either of us saw my mom again. So that was the last time I was there. And I can't remember the year, but it was several years before this adventure with Vicky. So Vicky and I leave the hospital, we head to the house, and, I was a little trepidatious. It felt, it was just a weird feeling. And, get to the front door and try the key. Key doesn't work. try it again, try it again, try it again. The key doesn't work. So I'm like, of course, the key doesn't work. Now, I was dressed nicely. I was there to do business, to see my mom, so I was, dressed. I had my Burberry coat on. Like I was dressed up. So Vicky's like, oh, maybe there's a window door. So before I could, and this is how you know who your real, true friends are. Before I could, say bibbity boppity boo, my friend Vicky had the kitchen window open and was in. So, I was like, I'll meet you at the front door. I wasn't going to go through the kitchen window. So Vicky came and opened the front door for me. God bless her. And we got in. So I'm sure those of you watching, Vicky is still my dearest friend on the planet. And that's what you all should be looking for in a bestie. Somebody who will break in and climb through a kitchen window for you when you need to break into your mom's house to get a duffel bag full of cash. So we're in. I step in to the house, and I'll be honest, I had instant Vietnam flashbacks. And I was just kind of paralyzed. And Vicky was already was kind of into the back of the house. And I said, Vicky, I can't do this. And she's like, no problem. She was digging through, like there was dust an inch thick. I mean, it just, nobody should have to live like that. Nobody. And I was just paralyzed. And within minutes, Vicky had found the duffel bag. We could not find her wedding ring. That was my only regret. I think I finally got my wits about me and was able to go back into her bedroom and look, but I couldn't find it. But we found the duffel bag. We found the cash. And then I'm like, we gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. And so we locked up, and we left. I wish I could say that was my last time there, but it wasn't. We got the duffel bag. It ended up being close to $2,000 cash. But that would not be my last time there. I would have to go back a couple times to get my mom basically out of there. The next time we went, I think Vicky came with me again. People had broken in, and they took anything that was there was nothing. They had a TV, I think, and they took that. That was gone. But fortunately, we got in there and got that bag of cash. And, I had decided that we were going to walk away from that house. They still owed money on this house. They still had a mortgage because they had just refinanced it so many times. I had a wonderful attorney. His name was Jeff Cook. If anybody sees this, and this is helpful to you, if you're looking for an attorney in Iowa, if he's still practicing, I reached out to him. He had done my grandmother's trusts. So he was the only person I knew. I reached out to him and said, hey, look, we're going to foreclose on this house. I said, but I want to do it the right way. I want to communicate with Chase, let them know that we will not be paying the rest of this mortgage. We are going to foreclose. My mom doesn't need to have credit, so I don't really care. We're going to walk away. We're going to leave everything. We're just going to walk away. It needs to be burnt to the ground, in my opinion. So you can have anything that's in there. We're walking away from this home. So he helped me. He never charged me a penny. He did all of it pro bono. I am grateful to him to this day. But the last time I went there, it had been broken into, and I just said, all right, there's nothing here. Let's go. And that was it. So my last journey into that house was a little traumatizing. I didn't expect it to be. And I'm just so grateful for my Vicky for being able to do that for me. Help me through that really horrible time. My mom is currently 71 years old, and the last I talked to her, she only thinks she's 61, which would be great. That would make me back to 38. She is about like a 5-year-old. She can't do some basic things, like she can't tie her shoe. She really struggles with just washing her hands. Like it's kind of strange to watch, but she's like a toddler. She still suffers from her eating disorder, which was part of her mental illness. She'd always suffered. She's always thought she was fat. So we know her cocktail of medicine isn't the best when she mentions her weight. She obsesses. She gets a thought in her head and she's trapped. She can't get it out. She obsesses over it and she can't cope with that. That's been part of her illness for a long time. It's just she's a prisoner of her own mind, and you will see her fear a lot. She's just scared all the time. That's hard to see. That's hard to witness. Just that look of absolute panic. Again, kind of like a child, right? When we're little, when we're adults, like simple things. And I always liken it to like, I used to always have a fear of being in a car and running out of gas and being stranded, because as a kid, you can't problem solve out of that. Now as an adult, it's like, okay, I run out of gas, I make a call, you can problem solve, but you don't have those skills as a little kid. And so you're just constantly, it's scary being a kid. I think she lives in that constantly now. That inability to problem solve. And so it's a sad part of her illness. She always knows us. People always ask that, does she, like, it's not Alzheimer's, it's a dementia. And then she has, her official diagnosis, as I told you, was paranoid schizophrenia. She used to hallucinate a lot when I was little, when I was young. I remember she would always think somebody was trying to get her, trying to kill her, trying to get anybody. I don't know if she still hallucinates. Now she lives, in a medicated state, and she's cared for. And we haven't been able to visit her since COVID, but they're going to start to open up here soon. And my aunt and I will both have our vaccine, our second dose, by the end of this month. And it's our hope to go see her, because it's been a long time. I try to speak to her every week on the phone, and I just kind of talk to her. She can't really ask questions, and she just, short responses. Lately, she's been struggling with the English language. She's been struggling to find words, and the horrible part is you can hear her know. You know that she's struggling, and she knows that she's struggling. Like, she knows what she wants to say, and she knows she can't find the words. And so that's hard. But she's cared for. She has 3 square meals a day. We bring her new clothing and bedding and shoes, and every time we go, and she's safe. And I'm grateful for that. So that's kind of where we are with my mom. And next time I see you, I'll talk to you a little bit about my third and final foster home with strangers. But I think the next time I speak to you, this will be under a different brand, and we're going to go back to Modern Class and Chaos, where I will kind of continue with that first project and add in there a little bit about my adventures in education, and hopefully share a little bit of that with you, and again, inspire and help and entertain. And this has just been such a joy and such a fun little thing for me to do with all that time on my machine. And I can't wait to see you again next time. So thank you so much for being with me on this journey, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you.